Starseed from Gaia. The high beings are watching your words because one phrase is blocking your signal. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation, and I'm here to deliver an urgent transmission from the Arcturian Council. This vibrational pattern is disrupting your field and interfering with the transmissions the Council is trying to send you. Every time you speak this phrase, your frequency collapses and your connection to the higher realms breaks. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly which words are creating this interference and how eliminating them will restore your connection instantly. But here's the first revelation. The phrase blocking your signal isn't what you think it is, and it's woven so deeply into human conditioning that most starseeds never realize they're saying it. You didn't find this transmission by accident. Your soul called this message into your field because something inside you is ready to break free from this limitation. The high beings have been trying to reach you, but this single vibrational block has been scrambling their signals. Like this transmission to signal to your star family that you're ready to clear the interference. Subscribe if your mission is activating and you're choosing to align with pure cosmic frequency. Comment 111 if you feel the recognition stirring within you right now. This isn't just information. This is a point of liberation. Your connection to the Council depends on what you do with these words. You are not here by accident. Most awakened souls wonder, why, with all their searching, does the heart still feel clouded? Why does the signal from Source come in static, fragmented, lost in translation? Why does the mind collect insight after insight? Why do you read, meditate, journal, cleanse, pray, fast, ground, and still? There are moments where it feels like you're pressing your ear to a door that won't open. It can feel like standing under a vast night sky filled with stars, knowing the universe is alive and speaking, yet your own inner receiver keeps slipping between stations. The truth is, most starseeds are not lacking ability. They're not broken or waiting for a sign. They're already encoded with advanced frequency, attuned to cosmic communication, and pulsing with remembrance at their core. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. It is an antenna. Your emotional depth is not a flaw. It is a tuning fork. Your strange feeling of being from somewhere else is not imagination. It is resonance. Yet, one simple element in the inner landscape causes the celestial channel to distort. A single, lingering chord of inner discord. Like a single instrument slightly out of tune in an orchestra, it doesn't erase the music, but it bends it. It introduces a thin wobble that makes the whole symphony feel unstable. And because you are sensitive, you hear it. Because you are awake, you cannot unknow it. Because you are here for a mission, you feel the urgency of clearing it. This is why so many advanced souls feel frustrated, not because they lack power, but because they can sense the power trying to move through them, and it's being refracted, like sunlight hitting a cracked lens. The light is still light, but it spreads into fragments instead of forming one clear beam. This is what inner discord does. It doesn't destroy your connection. It distorts your clarity. It doesn't remove guidance. It scrambles the signal. And it often hides in plain sight, as something you've normalized for so long, you no longer recognize it as a distortion. This is the paradox. The more awake you become, the more intolerable that tiny interference feels, because your soul is built for clear transmission. In spiritual language, this is why the ancient texts speak of the single eye and the pure heart, not as moral concepts, but as energetic physics. When the inner lens is clear, the whole being is filled with light. When the lens is clouded by a subtle distortion, the light still comes, but it scatters. You're not failing. You're tuning. You're not behind. You're recalibrating. You're not being ignored by the cosmos. You're being invited to remove the one thread that keeps snagging your frequency. This is not always loud. In fact, the single discordant phrase is usually a whisper. A phrase, a doubt, an unresolved question under the surface. It's rarely dramatic. It's rarely obvious. It often sounds like common sense, like being realistic, like just being careful, It slips into your thoughts when you're about to trust yourself. It shows up when you're about to speak your truth. It tightens your chest when you receive something beautiful and you're about to believe it. Am I truly worthy of hearing the counsel? Am I strong enough to trust what comes through? Does my guidance really matter here on Earth? Sometimes it's not even phrased like a question. Sometimes it's a statement you've carried so long it feels like identity. I'm not the kind of person who gets clear messages. I always mess it up. People don't listen to me. I'm too sensitive. It's safer to keep it to myself. These are not random fears. They are encrypted locks coded into your experience, precisely to be dissolved. They are old survival programs dressed in spiritual clothing. And they are powerful because they were once useful. A child learns quickly which truth gets them punished, which emotion makes them rejected, which honesty makes them unsafe. A soul moving through lifetimes learns which visibility attracts danger, which gifts trigger jealousy, which radiance invites persecution. So the psyche becomes clever. It doesn't shut down your gifts completely. It simply places a thin veil over them. It creates an internal disclaimer that runs beneath the signal. Don't go too far. Don't be too loud. Don't be wrong. And that disclaimer becomes the static. For the starseed, the deepest frustration is not a lack of messages from beyond. It's the weight of that one old sentence, looping in the background, that keeps the channel foggy and your true voice muffled. You can be receiving guidance all day long and still feel disconnected, because the guidance is arriving through a filter that doubts it. It's like trying to drink pure water through a cloth stained with old fear. The water is still pure. The stain is just tinting your experience of it. And your soul knows the difference. That's why the ache is so specific. That's why the longing feels ancient. It's not merely curiosity. It's remembrance pressing from inside, saying, "This is supposed to be clear." This discord is a veil. It splinters your inner signal, keeps you cycling through noise, and dims the brilliance of the wisdom flowing from your higher self, your guides, and the counsel who have never stopped transmitting to you. Imagine a river that has always been flowing, but a single fallen tree creates a bottleneck. The water doesn't vanish. It piles up, churns, becomes loud and chaotic in that one spot. The soul feels this as anxiety, confusion, impatience, spiritual fatigue. You start questioning everything. You start scanning for certainty. You start craving external validation. Not because you are weak, but because the flow inside you is being compressed, and compressed energy feels like pressure. And what feels disconnection is, in truth, a bottleneck of your own vibration. This is why it can feel like you're almost there, but never fully there. Like you can touch the edge of something sacred, but it slips away when you reach for it. Like you can taste truth, but you can't swallow it and let it nourish you. Most souls think the solution is to try harder, seek more methods, collect more answers. Another reading, another card pull, another video, another technique, another teacher, another modality. The mind thinks, if I can just find the right key, the door will open. But the door is not locked from the outside. The hinge is inside. And as Arcturian wisdom whispers, you are not meant to accumulate more. You are meant to release the pattern that holds your transmission hostage. Accumulation can become spiritual noise. More information can become more interference. Even high vibration practices can become another way of avoiding the one tender place that needs your presence. This is why the most powerful awakenings often happen not when you add something new, but when you finally tell the truth about what's been running in the background. When you finally stop bargaining with the fear. When you finally sit with the one sentence you've been trying not to hear. The Bible calls it the truth that sets you free, and the mechanics are exact. Truth dissolves distortion. Distortion cannot survive in full light. It can only survive in avoidance, in vagueness, in the half-lit corners where you keep telling yourself it's not that big of a deal. For some, This will appear as a childhood memory repeating itself. A moment where you spoke and were laughed at. A moment where you sensed something and were told you were dramatic. A moment where you shared a dream and someone dismissed it. The inner child then makes a vow, and vows are powerful spells. I won't do that again. And because you are loyal, you keep the vow, even when you've grown, even when the environment has changed, even when your soul is begging you to outgrow the contract. For others, it's a well-practiced belief from many timelines. I must remain silent to stay safe. You may not consciously remember those timelines, but your nervous system remembers. Your energy field remembers. The subtle flinch in your aura when you're about to be seen is the memory. The hesitation in your throat chakra when you're about to speak is the memory. The over-explaining, the apologizing, the shrinking, the procrastinating on your gifts, that is the memory. This phrase, this energetic stamp, is the tone that needs to be recalibrated, not by fighting it, not by shaming it, not by pretending it's not there, but by meeting it as an old protector that is tired. Because as soon as the discord is named, seen for what it is, it loses its hold. It's like turning on a light in a room where a shadow has been frightening you. The shadow doesn't need to be battled, it needs to be illuminated. Then your channel clears. Your voice, the one that ripples both through flesh and across timelines, returns. And the frequency from the council, your star lineage, flows in, unobstructed, luminous. You begin to realize something that changes everything. The council did not go quiet. You went cautious. The higher self did not leave. You learned to doubt the language it uses. Your guides did not disappear. You got trained to second-guess the sensation of their presence. When that training is undone, the communication becomes so natural that you almost laugh at how hard you were pushing before. It's like realizing the song was playing the whole time. You just had one finger pressed against the speaker. Some transmissions don't come through words, but through frequency. Sometimes the message is a warmth in your chest, a wave of calm that arrives for no reason, a sudden inner yes that doesn't need logic. Sometimes it's a chill, a tingling crown, a ringing in the ears, the feeling of being watched in the most loving way. Sometimes it's synchronicity that doesn't just feel coincidental. It feels orchestrated, like the universe is placing breadcrumbs in your path with a gentle, laughing precision. If something stirred within you just now, you may be ready to receive the hidden Arcturian keys of awakening. This short yet powerful ebook carries ancient Arcturian techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. The link is in the first pinned comment, but only for a limited time. And if you feel that subtle inner pull when you hear those words, honor it. Your soul recognizes what the mind may not yet understand. There are certain codes you don't learn so much as you remember. They land like a tone that makes everything inside you hum in agreement. Let's walk you through what clearing that inner discord actually activates, step by step. Not as a rigid system, but as a living sequence that your field naturally moves through when it's ready. Like dawn unfolding, like ice melting, like a radio finally finding the exact frequency where the music becomes full and clear. Your first awakening comes the moment you identify the phrase behind the static. What is your personal discordant note? Sit quietly and listen, not for guidance, but for the inner phrase or belief that interrupts your intuitive flow. This is important. You're not hunting for a cosmic message yet. You're listening for what blocks the message. You're not asking the universe to speak louder. You're asking your inner interference to reveal itself. Sometimes it shows up right away as a sentence you've heard in your mind 1,000 times. Sometimes it rises like a feeling first, like a stone in the stomach, a clamp in the throat, a weight behind the eyes. It is not always words. Sometimes it's a tightening in the body, a rush of doubt, a memory that jumps out at random. You might suddenly remember a teacher's expression, a parent's tone, a friend's dismissal. You might feel an old embarrassment. You might hear a sneering echo that isn't even yours, yet it lives in you. This is why the body is sacred in awakening. The body keeps the receipts. The body speaks in sensations long before the mind forms a narrative. Trust what you sense, even if it feels small. The smallest splinter can infect an entire system. The tiniest leak can sink a great ship over time. Likewise, the subtlest belief can drain your spiritual power more than any external obstacle. That is your soul's signal, presenting itself for release. In Scripture, this is the still small voice, and many assume it means only divine guidance. But sometimes the still small voice is the subtle lie that has been hiding beneath your life, waiting to be seen so it can be set free. The moment you can say, "This is the phrase," you've already begun to dissolve it, because you cannot heal what you refuse to name. Next, you enter phase 2, the dissolution of the old imprint. Once seen, the phrase loses power. Not instantly, not always dramatically, but like a spell breaking when the true name is spoken. Here, you welcome the vibration of compassion. This is where many starseeds stumble, because they try to ascend past their wounds rather than include them. But compassion is not a detour from awakening. It is the gateway. Speak the phrase aloud and thank it. Yes, thank it. Not because it was true, but because it tried to protect you. It served a purpose: protection, belonging, safety. The ego built it like a fence around a tender garden. The fence was never meant to be your home. It was meant to be temporary. Now, with conscious breath, say inside, "I do not need this discord anymore. I choose harmony with my core." Let those words land not as an affirmation you force, but as a decision your field makes. The act is as much vibrational as it is mental. You are not merely changing a thought, you are changing a signal. You are reprogramming an inner transmitter. This is an energetic handshake. Your higher self shaking hands with your human experience. The higher self is not disappointed in your fear. It is not impatient with your process. It is the most loving part of you, waiting to be invited into the places you once kept locked. And when you breathe through the imprint rather than resist it, you are doing something alchemical. You're turning the dense into the luminous. You're letting the old contract expire. You're telling your nervous system, "We are safe to be true now." You're telling your field, "We are safe to be seen now." In spiritual terms, this is repentance in its original meaning. Not shame, not punishment, but a turning. A turning away from distortion and back toward resonance. A turning from fear's story to the soul's reality. In phase 3, your true voice begins to surface. It may not arrive as booming confidence. It often arrives as quiet clarity. You might notice subtle shifts, a feeling of resonance in your throat, gentle tingling in your heart, or a sudden clarity in messages that used to feel out of reach. You may start hearing yourself differently. Your words may feel more anchored, less performative, less apologetic. You may begin to speak with fewer qualifiers, fewer defenses, or you may simply feel an inner click, like two parts of you that were separated are now in alignment. There's no forcing required. Your voice returns naturally, as if rediscovered after a long search. Like finding an old instrument in the attic and realizing it still plays beautifully once the dust is cleared. It is not about the words you speak, but the frequency you emit. Your frequency is the real language. Words are only the outer garment of vibration. You'll feel it, a new ease, a vibrational clarity, like static clearing from a radio signal. You may also feel grief in this phase, and that is sacred too. Grief for the times you didn't trust yourself. Grief for the years you shrank. Grief for the messages you ignored because you were afraid of being wrong. Let that grief move like water. It is not there to punish you. It is there to wash you clean. Many awakened souls think they must be high vibe at all times. But the truth is, authenticity is higher vibration than performance. The soul doesn't want you polished. It wants you true, and truth has a tone that the council can meet instantly, because truth is compatible with higher frequencies. Phase 4. The channel opens. Guidance, insight, and presence from the council, or your own multidimensional mentors, arrive not because you summon them, but because you finally cleared the congestion. This is where it starts to feel almost effortless. You're not straining to receive. You're simply available. You may receive new directions, sudden flashes of knowing, or simply a deep, undeniable peace. The peace is often the greatest evidence. It's the kind of peace that doesn't need circumstances to cooperate. It's the kind of peace that remains even when life is loud, because your inner signal is no longer fighting itself. You might experience guidance through dreams that feel like teachings. You might wake up with a sentence in your mind that feels downloaded, precise, and loving. You might be led to a book, a conversation, a place, and it feels like invisible hands are guiding your steps. You might notice signs in nature, birds, wind, sudden shafts of light, responding to your inner state like the world is mirroring your alignment. At this phase, trust is no longer an effort. It is a state of presence. You understand. You are not meant to struggle for connection. It is the most natural state of your starseed being. The way lungs are meant to breathe. The way roots are meant to drink. The way a compass is meant to point north. You stop confusing loud with true. You stop chasing dramatic confirmations. You start recognizing the quiet certainty that has always been your real guidance. And you realize the council's presence is not far away in some unreachable realm. It is near, because frequency is near. When your frequency matches, contact is immediate. In phase 5, you become the transmission. This is where things stop being only personal. The guidance flowing through you is no longer just for yourself. Your harmonized energy field transmits clarity to all those around you. Your presence becomes medicine. Not because you try to fix people, but because coherence is contagious. When your field is harmonious, it invites other fields to entrain to that harmony. The light you now carry is encoded. Others feel more in tune when they are near you. They may not know why they feel calmer around you, why they suddenly get an idea, why they feel safe enough to cry, why they feel inspired to change. They may not call it frequency, but they will feel it. Your environment, relationships, and creations all begin to recalibrate to this harmony you've anchored. You may feel certain connections fall away because they were bonded through distortion, not truth. You may feel new connections arrive that feel like soul recognition, effortless and aligned. You may notice you can no longer tolerate certain conversations, certain entertainment, certain habits, not out of judgment, but because your field is too clear to enjoy noise. And with that clarity, your creativity becomes potent. What you write, what you speak, what you build, what you choose, begins to carry a signal. You start realizing your mission is not only something you do, it is something you are. Your life becomes a lighthouse, not because you shout, but because you stand steady. Phase 6. You realize that receiving wisdom is not about seeking something outside yourself, but restoring innate resonance. This is a crucial shift. It ends the spiritual scavenger hunt. It ends the endless longing for someone else to validate what you already know. Now the council is not far away. They are within your field, your frequency. You no longer ask, "Will I receive a sign?" Instead, you live as the sign, embodying the guidance in your daily actions, words, and presence. You stop treating spirituality as an event and start living it as a tone. You begin to understand that the most powerful channeling is not always sitting down to receive grand messages. It's how you move through ordinary moments with extraordinary alignment. How you speak when you're tired. How you respond when you're triggered. How you choose when no one is watching. In this phase, the distance between spiritual and human collapses. They become one, Your higher self is no longer a concept you reach for. It is a companionship you inhabit. You start catching yourself before you abandon your own truth. You start feeling guidance in the moment, not only afterward. And you realize that the council's wisdom often comes in the form of simple, grounded instructions. Rest, drink water, apologize, create, leave, begin, forgive, wait, speak. The cosmic becomes practical. The mystical becomes usable. That is true integration. Finally, Phase 7. Remembering your mission is not a struggle. It's not a puzzle you solve with your mind. It's a remembrance that rises when the field is clear enough to hold it. You see, every blockage was a portal. Every discord was a call to realign with your true tone. The very places you felt stuck were often the exact coordinates of your liberation. The very fears that haunted you were often guarding the door to your gift. You arrive at a deeper realization. You are the clear channel you've been searching for. Your voice and the council's voice are harmonic, woven together in service to the awakening of Earth. This is where your life begins to feel guided, not by pressure, but by purpose. You don't need to chase your mission. Your mission begins to chase you in the form of opportunities, synchronicities, invitations, and inner certainty. You begin to understand why you were placed where you were placed, in the family you chose, in the culture you entered, in the challenges you faced. Not as punishment, but as curriculum. Not as random suffering, but as refinement. Like gold heated until impurities rise. Like a sword tempered until it can hold the light without bending. And in this phase, you stop needing your mission to look grand. You stop thinking it must be famous to be real. You understand the mission is frequency first. Some are here to teach publicly. Some are here to hold families together. Some are here to anchor peace in chaotic workplaces. Some are here to break generational patterns. Some are here to create art that carries codes. Some are here to be the one person in a room who doesn't betray their own heart. Mission is not always loud, but it is always potent when it is true. Here is what so many forget. Your disconnection was never a punishment. It was never a flaw. It was a sacred pause, a chosen delay in remembrance so you could experience revelation, clarity, and the sheer power of returning home to your own frequency. Some pauses are gestation. Some silences are sacred. Even the stars have seasons where they are hidden behind clouds, yet they never stop shining. The council has always been near, never further than your own clear heart. Not further than a single breath. Not further than a single honest moment. Every moment you felt silenced or foggy was the orchestration of a deeper remembering, a symphony building to a crescendo. Even the static had a purpose. It taught you discernment. It taught you patience. It taught you the difference between mental noise and soul truth. It taught you that you cannot outsource your knowing forever. Now, as you clear away even that last discordant phrase, you're not gaining your voice. You are restoring what was always within you. The true voice, the one aligned to your mission, encoded with galactic wisdom, attuned to higher purpose, rings through you, unfiltered, harmonious, and whole. It's like the moment a bell is struck and the tone is pure. It doesn't argue. It doesn't prove itself. It simply rings, and everything false begins to tremble. When you are in your true tone, you do not have to convince anyone you are connected. Your life carries the evidence. Your energy carries the signature. Your peace carries the confirmation. And the moment you stop punishing yourself for the seasons of fog, you realize the fog was not the absence of light. It was the invitation to become your own lighthouse. If you feel the call, try this before you sleep. I now clear all discord from my field. My true voice is harmonic with my cosmic source. I am ready to receive and embody the wisdom of my counsel, and so it is. Say it slowly, not as a demand, but as consent. Let your body hear you. Let your nervous system receive the new instruction. Let the subconscious accept a new reality. And if you wake in the night, place a hand on your heart or throat and simply breathe as if you are listening to a gentle broadcast that has always been there. Because you are. Some of the strongest transmissions arrive in the liminal space between waking and sleeping, when the mind releases its grip and the soul speaks in symbols, light, and feeling. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what's forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real. Then respond to someone else's with encouragement or energy. This isn't content. It's collective alignment. Energy multiplies when intention connects. If something in this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation. Share it. And if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow. You're not just watching, you're expanding. This is your space. And we're just getting started. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it. Respond to it. Help carry this message further. Leave a super thanks. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.